I'm excited to film this video today because I want to go over these new set of plugins that I've been using on all of my sessions. And the more I use these plugins, the more excited I get to continue to make music. So I want to share that with you guys today. Look, if you guys have an MPC, you know there's so many plugins that come with the MPC, but then there's also third-party plugins that you can purchase. And if you're new to all of this, you might be like, hey, you know what plugins are worth investing on? I'm not going to tell you to purchase any of these. I mean, you make your own choice. I just want to show you my favorite plugins. Do not forget that you could do a trial. So test it out yourself. Don't take my word for it. Let's get right into it. I have a record right behind me. I have some drums that I'm going to bring into my SP1200. And then from my SP1200, we're going to sample that onto the MPC. I got this track right here. Actually, I'm going to name this DRMBRK for drum break. Hit do it, close. And let's drop the needle right here and let's sample this into the SP1200. I'm going to try to get the SP1200 on the camera. I don't know if you guys can see it just a little bit right here on the side, but let's go ahead and sample. Right there, right there. Awesome, that's all I need right there. Let's go ahead and tune that down. All right, just processing that alone through the 1200 and pitching it down, I'm already getting some good saturation out of this machine alone, but we can push it a lot further once we bring that into the MPC. I'm running the output of this 1200 into this Deco guitar pedal. I'm not adding no saturation. I just like how this Deco sounds for any mono signal. Let's go ahead and sample that right here. Let's go to the sample edit and I'm going to chop this up. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and convert this and put that into its new track. Let's go ahead and select all of this and add some sample tail length to it. Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. That sounds awesome. Look, this is just the sound of the SP1200 and it sounds nice and crunchy. There's already some sound processing that's happening. But what happens with these drum breaks when we start using some of my favorite plugins to just make it sound completely different from what we got from this original record? My go-to plugins is Low-Fly Tape, right? This is the Low-Fly Tape MSX Audio. They have these two plugins right now. They have Fly Tape 2 and Low-Fly Dirt. Both of these plugins are a must-have for me. I love the sound of what these two give me combined together. I made a video previously going over a Fly Tape 2 and I'm showing you how I'm using it kind of like an SP1200 for performance. It's awesome. It's so fun. Go watch that video if you want to see how I use this plugin as of, I'm not actually, it's so crazy. I haven't been using this, and in all of my videos, you'll see me using this SP1200 or SP404, but I have not plugged this in a very long time. Different topic. I'll make a video on this later. Now I'm just using Fly Tape 2 as kind of like my SP404. Right now, I'm gonna just use it as just the sound of it. It also just has a really good sound to Fly Tape 2. These plugins are going to amplify the signal, but the way it's amplifying the signal, it has a crunch to it. It has some type of flavor to it that I completely love. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do anything else to it. I'm not trying to match. I'm not trying to do any cleanup type of mixing. I'm trying to process signal. So I like the color that is giving my signal when it amplifies the volume. My first go-to plugin, this is actually a free plugin, especially with percussive instruments. It's going to be Transient Shaper or Transient Designer. I'm going to hit play, and as I hit play, I'll be talking. So explain how I'm using these plugins. Like, this sounds great. It sounds awesome, but I could make it sound a bit more punchy using a transient shaper. Go to my first insert, go to Dynamics, and there's this AKAI professional plugin. This is transient shaper. Listen to what it does to the signal. already is giving me a bit more punch. I'm gonna grab the release and I'm gonna bring down the release so it's gonna sound a bit more punchy. Ooh, that's it. Hear it with and without. Once we had that, then that's when I want to bring in some type of distortion using this MSX audio plugins. This Lo-Fi Dirt is awesome. Like, this is a plugin where I don't even have to do anything to it. Like, this is by the way, this is a plugin that I use on my master bus like all the time. I sometimes don't even do anything to it. I just put it on my master bus, and when I do it, it just does something to my signal. I don't know how this stuff works, but I trust my ears, and there's something that I like about it, and I want to keep it right there. So you will hear, even right now, you'll hear the drum break playing without it, and when I engage it, there's some type of presence. Ooh, yeah. Like, I like this right here. Ooh. I like that. Boom. Let's get back. And now I'm gonna add flight tape 2. We could probably listen to this saturation right here. This drive sounds good. I'm gonna bring down the mix. All right, so now we're getting somewhere. I'm grabbing a break from a record, I'm bringing it into my MPC, and I'm trying to do my best to make it sound different. As my last plugin, I might put another transient shaper as my last plugin. So with this transient shaper, I might bring back some of the tail of those audio waves so I can keep it kind of tight. Let's hear it without and then with. That's awesome. I love this. Okay, so let's hear everything without the signal chain of plugins and then with. I'm going to stick with this. By the way, if you are part of my Patreon, I'm going to share this with you. I'll leave this, and if you don't have these plugins and you download this, you will still be able to use this drum break coming from the SP1200. You'll have that sound, but you just won't have these plugins if you have not purchased the plugins. But I'm going to share this with my Patreon members so you could listen to it yourself and let me know what you guys think. All right, so we already have something right there that I'm feeling really good with. I'm gonna create a drum track, and I wanna start sampling some melodic chops so we can put something together, an actual track. I might start moving a bit faster, but you're gonna see that once I have the chops sequenced with my drums, then on my master bus right here, I'm gonna leave this turned off. But once I have my sample and my drums together, I'm gonna engage Lo-Fi Dirt. This is a go-to on my master bus, and this preset is awesome. This cold place, I just have to lower this input down a bit. I'm gonna leave it off. We'll get into that later, but I'm gonna engage it later on once we're halfway through the track. All right, we got some stuff right here. I sampled A, B, and C, all these banks. I'm gonna jump in right here. Yo, check this out, guys. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I'm actually curious. Do you guys use warping on the MPC? I dislike warping. I don't like warping because it has this funky algorithm. But in this case, I want to mess with that nasty algorithm that the standalone warping has, and I want to use that as texture to the sample. Let's hear her voice. And let me see. I'm going to leave it on all. That warping is not something that sounds good to me, but we could use that kind of like an effect. So I'm actually liking how that sounds. There's a bunch of clicks and pops. I'm gonna get rid of those clicks and pops. I'm gonna add an attack at 1, and let's hear this right here. All right, we found a little something right here. Oh, we got something right here. Let me lock this in before I forget. That sounds so cool. Let me see what key this is on. A sharp minor. Let's see if it got it on key. I'm gonna make this, or you know what? Actually, let me go into my secret stash right here. It won't be so secret after this video. Go to samples, drum broker, this square one shots, mahogany breaks. This is a super good sample pack, but I'm gonna go to the one shots, the bass notes on this. I'm gonna load that right here. It's way off key, but we're gonna match that key right here. Make sure this is on A. And that right there. I'm gonna turn on the 16 level velocity, put this on tune. Yeah. Well, let's record that. Let's get that right there. Let's add air pumper. All right, cool. We got a little something right here moving. My bad, I forgot I was even filming, but let's add a low-fly dirt to the entire mix. And I'm not gonna want to make this video longer than what it needs to be, but let's hear low-fly dirt on the master bus. That's it. All right, so I even put flight tape 2 on the master bus. Go watch the previous video on how easy it is to map those Q links to the plugin. So you could be writing it kind of like a SP404. I'm not gonna do it in this video. This is not the video I wanna walk through that. If you guys wanna know how to do that, go watch that video. What really took it for me on this session is the sound, the drums, the way they're punching, the bass, the overall mix. I'm gonna just turn off all of the plugins and let's hear how this sounds with no plugins, and then I'll let you hear it with all of the plugins turned on. All right, look, I'll leave it right there. Sound speaks louder than words when it comes down to what we do right here. Listen to this stuff. Download the trial. Test it out yourself. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching my videos. I hope you guys got something out of this. I'll catch y'all on our next one. Peace.